Hi guys, it's Owen from farfarway.org. Just thought I'd show you through a game that myself and Paul played with my British coming in from the north here and his Deutsches Afrika Korps coming in from the south. The Deutsche Afrika Korps are playing the defenders in this attack and defense scenario, but I got a bit of a hop on them because I rolled 6 for my advanced moves on my patrol markers. So you can see the British patrol markers marked by the Allied symbol there and the Deutsche Afrika Korps ones moving up there. And you can see I got reasonably well into the village before having to place my jump off points, which I'm doing here. So you can see the jump off points there being positioned in around that building there. I'll position near one of the other buildings, and then I'll get one up in the top right behind some of those rocks. Paul's placed one behind that building down kind of center at the bottom of the village. He's going to place one another in and around the mosque, and then he'll place one in kind of behind a hill on the bottom right there. You can see we are placing a couple of force morale markers. We rolled quite poorly, both of us, so we only start with force morales of 8. And we're into the game here. So just ignore those German teams on the bottom right. That's just a glitch from the recording. But I'm placing some of my British into the buildings there. So Bren teams, rifle teams as part of the sections with their corporals. And I brought a Matilda in. I had a pre-game bombardment, so that kind of slowed Paul in getting some of his forces in. As you can see, he's bringing one of his kind of double machine gun sections in here with their supporting rifles and the Obergefreiter. One of the things I was able to bring in reasonably early, and I'll bring in soon here, is, and there he goes, is my forward observer for my 3-inch mortars, and they had a very big impact on the game. You can see little blue icons starting to appear there. That's where shock is starting to mount up, and those counters you can track the amount of shock on the different teams. But the mortar gets placed over that building with the German troops in it, and I start to bombard them through a big chunk of this game. Paul's positioning his guys up there, getting them onto Overwatch. I think he made a bit of a mistake bringing the guys in on the right hand side here. The Matilda's just going to stay there and just hit them with the machine gun for the rest of the game. And you can see shock starting to mount up a little bit in a couple of kills on those Germans in the bottom left. And Paul loses his Obergefreiter in amongst those, and you can see that his force morale, indicated at the bottom there by the 7, has dropped. So those guys kind of get pinned, keep getting hit by my machine gun, or my Bren gun, and by those mortars, so they really take a big hammering, and you can see here that the remaining couple of guys actually break and run back to this hill away from it, which kind of leaves his lieutenant there, the guy with the red aura on his base, a little bit exposed, and I do bring in a little bit more mortar fire here, which ends up wounding him lightly. So Paul tries to position that guy in amongst some of his other friends, but as you can see now, he's starting to suffer. His force morale's on 5 to my 8, so it's starting to hot up. I decided at this point I'm going to try and reposition this section, move them into the central building there, because I got 2 phases in a row. So here's the second phase of me moving them up into this building, just to give myself a slightly better position. Also decided to move with the forward observer to give him some direct observation into where I might want to bring mortars in later on. But these weren't the significant moves. The significant element of the battle at this point is the machine gun on the right hand side from the Matilda. Paul got one shot off with his artillery piece there, but it just bounced off the front of the tank. And from this point forward, I just put more hurt onto the guys on the right, end up again wounding another, actually killing the Obergefreiter on that side. Paul's force morale dropped to 2, and that was pretty much it. He decided to withdraw. So really fun game, and thanks for watching it.